What if I told you that half of the NFL starting quarterbacks are going to change this offseason? Who will be your favorite NFL team starting quarterback in 2024? Some of your guys' franchises are locked in. It's obviously going to be one name. And some of your guys' franchises could pick up anybody still. Here's who I got starting at quarterback for every single team in the NFL. But first, let me introduce myself. I am NFL Mike, an NFL content creator, and I cover football 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and twice on Sundays. So if you're an NFL fan, I know you'll like the channel. Just subscribe real quick, turn on notifications so you can be alerted every time I post. And then I see you staring at the like button. Make sure you hit it before you forget so let the algorithm knows to send this video to more NFL fans like you and me. Starting with the teams whose starting quarterback should be obvious. There is no other options. It will be this player unless the world ends before the season starts. I think the Arizona Cardinals are completely committed to Kyler Murray next season. It's like the Baltimore Ravens are committed to Lamar Jackson long term, and the Buffalo Bills are committed to Josh Allen long term. Bryce Young probably has at least 2 more seasons to be the locked-in starter of the Carolina Panthers minimum. And Joe Burrow has proven he is the only dude that has a chance to beat Mahomes, so the Cincinnati Bengals will probably never let go of that motherfucker. The Cleveland Browns are stuck with Deshaun Watson for the foreseeable future. I think the Lions are pretty much locked in to be running it back with Jared Goff. There's not really anyone out there that's a massive upgrade that they can go and get at this time. CJ Stroud will probably be the Houston Texans starter for the next 10-15 years. And I think so will Anthony Richardson with the Colts. This Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud rivalry is going to grow into something special, I'm telling you. I think Trevor Lawrence's job is safe this year, but the Jaguars do have some contract decisions to make with him. Justin Herbert is obviously going to be the Chargers starting quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is probably playing his last season. He's definitely going to be starting for the Jets. How many plays will he last? I guess the ball won't lie on that one. I think Jalen Hurts' job is in question at all. He's starting for Philly next year. Tush push just got a lot weaker. San Francisco 49ers only upgrade is Tom Brady from Brock Purdy. And I think it's pretty clear. Tom Brady's going to stay retired this time. Brock Purdy will be starting for the 49ers next season. This one may be shocking, but I think Will Levis is a lock to be starting for the Tennessee Titans. They just gotta see what they got at least, at very minimum. And then, of course, you already know the Kansas City Chiefs will have Patrick Mahomes playing for their team as long as he wants to play. Unfortunately for Chargers fans like me. Then I have a list of 5 quarterbacks who I think will be 90% certainly starting for their team. There is a 10% shadow of a doubt that something could happen this offseason, causes a sudden plot twist, and these quarterbacks are not starting for these teams. I'm pretty sure the Dallas Cowboys are going to re-sign and extend Dak Prescott. Question is, what is that total number going to look like? Because he's going to want a lot. And if he asks for too much, is Jerry Jones going to say, nah, Dak, we can find someone better than you, buddy? And then the Los Angeles Rams starting Matthew Stafford is 90% going to happen. There is a 10%, or I would say even as low as a 1% chance that I think Stafford thinks about all the injuries he suffered in his career, thinks about his family. I know that his wife has had a lot of battles with her health and hangs it up this offseason. Or the Rams still view themselves as kind of a rebuilding team and they trade Stafford for some picks while he still has some trade value. But I don't think that the Rams view themselves as a rebuilding team. I actually think it's the opposite, and I think this is why Stafford is definitely coming back next year. The Rams may push the chips in one more time. Like, they may go out and be a little bit aggressive here in the draft and aggressive in free agency, thinking they got one more shot to win one more bowl before Aaron Donald and Matthew Stafford retires. And I think it's 99.9% that Tua is going to sign and extend with the Dolphins. Only way it doesn't happen is if Tua is asking for way too fucking much in the deal, just like Dak. It is something to keep in mind and keep an eye out that the Dolphins have tried to replace Tua multiple times in his career already. Tried to bring in Tom Brady when he was moving, and they tried to go after Deshaun Watson when he was on the mark. I think Miami would have been a player in a potential Lamar Jackson trade even if it would have actually gotten to that point. But for now, looking around the landscape of the NFL, similarly to Brock Purdy, if Tom Brady isn't coming out of retirement, who's really an upgrade for Miami? Might as well keep the guy that has great chemistry with the weapons that you already have in your offense. I think it's 90% chance that Derek Carr will start again for the Saints next year, but I think it's as low as 5% chance that he finishes the starter. And then the Seahawks have kind of like partially committed to Geno Smith being on the roster in 2024. If he's on the roster, I assume that he'll be starting for the Seahawks. So 10% chance that the Seahawks change their mind last minute and go with someone else. Then there's 3 quarterbacks that I view is like a 60-40, where I think I know where they'll be starting, but I ain't putting any money down or betting anything on it because my confidence level is only 60 40. 60% that I'm right, 40% that I'm wrong. And the first quarterback on this list is New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. This is going to be his last chance. I do think that he opens the Giants season as the starter, probably with a second or third round rookie chasing him down for that job. His contract is so awful, like there's just no way that they could find a trade partner for Daniel Jones. See what that QB turns out to be, and then in future years, they're looking at possibly going after their franchise guy. Or maybe it's Michael Penix or Jalen Milroe or one of those quarterbacks that isn't in that premium top draft pick category. And then for the Minnesota Vikings, my prediction to open up as their starting quarterback is Kirk Cousins. And 60-40, obviously. So I'm not super confident that Kirk's coming back to Minnesota. I just think this is most likely the best place for Kirk if he's trying to win a ring before he retires. You could argue that he could go to Pittsburgh and that's a superpower team up, or you could argue that he can go to multiple other landing spots and find success. But nowhere are you going to find an offense this good, especially in the passing game. I think this would be like a loaded 3-year deal that he can't refuse. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I think I might launch up to the 90% category now. When I took the notes down for this video, I had them in the 60-40 that they were going to have Baker Mayfield as their starting quarterback next year. Because a lot of teams are actually interested in Baker. The Vikings have shown interest in Baker. The Falcons have shown interest in Baker. Reports out there, the Raiders are interested in going after Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has a market this offseason, which is going to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers confidence to go ahead and give Baker the deal that he's seeking to stay. And I say that my confidence went up that this is going to happen a ton because the Buccaneers got the deal done with Mike Evans today. Like the news broke right before I started recording. Now here are the teams that I think are locked in to be changing quarterbacks next season. It's going to be extremely hard to guess who that quarterback is exactly going to be. I'm going to take my best shot. But first, just one more reminder, if you have not subscribed to the channel, just subscribe to the channel real quick. And like the video before you forget as well. I work so hard on these videos, y'all, and those two ways are completely free ways you can support the channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel also helps me continue to do what I do, which is helping you keep up with all 32 NFL teams while you do what you do. Starting with the Atlanta Falcons, who will definitely be switching quarterbacks. And I think the Falcons will be the team that goes and trades for Justin Fields. Just makes too much sense. He's from Atlanta. You got the perfectly built offense there for him. He's got the outlet at tight end. You got weapons out wide that can go up and get jump balls. They don't require an elite pocket passer to succeed. And then this rushing attack should be one of the best in football again next year. Bijan Robinson is no longer a rookie. I don't think they're easing him in. He's going full throttle from week 1. And the Atlanta defense can continue to improve as they add more players. Atlanta also has a ton of cap space. So if this works out, Justin Fields balls out in year 1, they can sign him to the extension that he needs. And then for the Denver Broncos, I think somehow, some way, this is the team that drafts J.J. McCarthy. Just feels like a perfect fit. McCarthy works so well with a hard-nosed style coach like Harbaugh. He would work well probably with a hard-nosed style coach like Sean Payton. And the Broncos, they have to draft a quarterback. So I think that their starter will be a rookie one way or another. Or like a shitty veteran, like a Jimmy Garoppolo type. A quarterback that no one wants to sign. Because there's a team that no one will want to sign with after seeing what they did to Russell Wilson for honoring his contract. They signed this deal. The Denver Broncos did. I know it wasn't the same ownership or coach or management that signed Russ to the deal, but you still did it. You took over the organization knowing that they had this contract on the books. You honor your fucking contract. You're a billion-dollar organization. You accept the risk, not the players, you greedy bastards. And I'm not a Russell Wilson or Denver Bronco fan. And the Las Vegas Raiders starting quarterback will be Aiden O'Connell. Just kidding, Raiders fans. I could feel you through the screen about to throw your phone across the room. Don't throw your phone. The Raiders was one of the hardest ones to pick because there's rumors connecting them to Kirk Cousins. There's rumors that they're possibly interested in Justin Fields. I have talked to some inside sources who have talked to the coaching staff themselves and heard that they want to draft Jayden Daniels or trade up to draft Jayden Daniels. It feels like Daniels is getting out of range for the Raiders at the 13th pick. He's possibly going to be a top 3 pick. I think Kirk Cousins is going to stay in Minnesota, like I said earlier. Russell Wilson is an option if he's cut from the Broncos to come to the Raiders and fill this gap until they can find their franchise quarterback. And so is a potential Derek Carr return. But that's crazy. But I also think that you could see Gardner Minshew be the starter for the Raiders next year. Who would you rather have, Raiders fans? Gardner Minshew or Derek Carr back? No, my prediction is kind of the in-between of going and getting Kirk Cousins, a pocket passer, and Jayden Daniels, that rookie with that super high potential. My prediction to be the starting quarterback of the Raiders week 1 kills me. He's basically like Herbert 2.0. It's Bo Nix. And the Pittsburgh Steelers is where I do think Russell Wilson will end up playing quarterback next year. That's a perfect fit for Russ. He should be stoked if he ends up there. It's basically like going to the Seahawks 2.0. You got a phenomenal defense. Now here is where I am going to be dropping my hottest takes probably on the channel over like the last month. So don't lose your fucking minds. We got a long ways to go until the NFL draft starts. I don't think it's going to go how you expect it to go as of today. But if we revisit this in a month and a half or so, and I'm right, you're going to call me a damn genius. What I think is going to happen at the NFL draft is by the time we get to the NFL draft, it's going to be clear that Caleb Williams does not want to play for the Bears. He wants to go to the Commanders. So that's my prediction to be the Washington Commanders starting quarterback week 1 of next season. Caleb Williams. I think the Bears trade back to 2. The Commanders come up to 1 to block all the other teams from trying to trade for Caleb Williams. And with the 2nd overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Bears shock everyone and pick Jayden Daniels. So I have neither Justin Fields or Caleb Williams starting for the Bears in 2024. Which leaves my last team on the board to pick a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. I think at 3rd overall, right after that chaos happens to completely shake the entire draft up, they go, thank you very much, we'll take Drake May. And Drake May starts for the Patriots next year. Comment your picks so we can see who the most accurate is. We're going to come back to this week 1 of the NFL season and see who got the most starting quarterbacks right. Will anyone be able to beat my predictions? No, probably not. But I guess sooner rather than later, the ball won't lie.
Still flames, I went Mike on the mic. What's something brand new, one time for your mind. He gave you fair warning. Now it's time to smack him in the mouth with that raw sports talk from the town. Sweet chin music to your favorite sportscaster. Mike on the mic with sports talk that matters.